This is a very simple radio made from 5 different parts, basically homemade. Our first part is a long length of wire with an alligator clip on it, and that is our aerial. Now the aerial needs to be put outside and up high, perhaps thrown onto the roof, with the end coming down inside. And we connect the aerial to the tuner. Now the tuner is a length of wire about 14 metres wrapped round and round this plastic tube, and every 5 loops around the tube we put a little small loop which we can use to connect our aerial onto. And when we connect the aerial onto one of these loops of wire, that is the connection for that particular frequency, so we should pick up one station, although our tuner is not very sophisticated, so it might accidentally pick up 2 stations. The next part of our radio is a small diode, just here, which forces the voltage in one direction so that will power our earphone. The earphone is a piezoelectric earphone, much more sensitive to voltage than a regular earphone. And the last part of our radio is the earth wire. This is just a wire that wraps around a tap or something like that connected to the earth and allows the current to flow to the earth and completes our circuit. So we clip that on there like that. So we've got the aerial, the tuner, the small diode, the earphone and the earth wire. Our radio should be working now. Now I want to show you how to put the radio together. You will need some sort of plastic bottle or maybe a cardboard tube with 4 holes in it, about that far apart, and you'll need a coil of wire. You just take your wire out from the reel. Now you don't want to kink your wire too much, you want to keep it fairly straight because we're going to wrap it round in loops and coil it round. We don't want it too messed up. To start off, put a little bend in your wire, pull it through and just loop it over so it's not going to go anywhere. Now the next thing we want to do, get some of these kinks out, we're going to wrap our wire around 5 times. It's 1, 2, okay, so I've got 5 coils of wire there. Go around one more time, and this time we're going to put a little kink in it so that we can connect our aerial to it later on. So we've got 5 wraps around and one more. This time we're going to put a pencil over the top. We're going to wrap the wire once around the pencil, and that's our first little loop that we're going to use for the aerial. So now we continue on. We do another 5 loops around. 1. Now when you get to the end, poke your wire through one of the 2 holes here, and out the other side. Just wrap it around one more time. There we go. That's just about finished. You can take the pencil out. I've got a nice set of connector points ready to connect the aerial on. Now I can take that, and just to steady it up a bit, I can put it on the board with some elastic bands, Once the tune is ready, I need to take off all the insulation in the places where I need to make a connection. So on the ends of the wires, I'll take a pair of scissors and carefully scrape away the varnish so that the bare copper is exposed. Now I can use a pair of scissors or a small Stanley knife or a box cutter, and I just keep on scraping away until all that varnish is off. Now you also need to take the varnish off the tops of each of the contact loops where we're going to connect the aerial. You need to do it on both sides of them, just on the top there, so that the alligator clip will connect properly. Once you've got the varnish off the ends of the wires, you can connect on the small diode. Now you can connect it just by twisting it around, or you can twist it, then you can solder it. Now the diode's connected to the to one end of the earpiece, and the other end of the earpiece goes onto the second end of the copper wire. Now your radio is basically finished. You do need to connect the earth to one end of the copper coil, and to the other part of the copper coil you pick one of the loops to choose a station, connect that on, and your radio should be ready to go, already playing.